Hey, look, Menulog.
Feels that way, but you are looking at their total goal graph right now, and you're looking at only. He's the only member in a sea of blue right now.
I see what you did there.
Yeah. Sometimes it works.
It always works.
It always works. Every time. 100% of the time. 90% of the time. Always. Every time, Kitty. Isn't that right?
Yep, this will be the only game that I will be looking out for tonight, so...
Okay. Well, look.
Okay.
Yeah, ain't that something? I thought you watched the last 2 games, but maybe I was incorrect. Maybe that was someone else just impostering on the microphone. But look, we got to talk PGG, we got to talk Gravitas, but let's talk Pentanet first, because they are, I'm saying, starting to find their feet, but then every single day, it seems like I'm eating my words. It's like, cool, they're looking consistent, and the next day, back to not looking consistent. So, Skimmy, tell me, what do they have to do today to secure the dub?
But I think if we saw anything from the initial pre-show, right, what was their strength? It was damage per minute, it was getting aggressive, it was claiming first bloods, and ultimately getting those first turrets. I'd love for them just to continue this idea of playing champions which have agency in the early game, or just priority in general. Allow them to push and say, well, if you're not going to do anything in laning phase, we'll go elsewhere and make something happen, because it feels like these are the laners that would certainly, if anybody is to contest you in those 2v2s, those 1v1s. So
yeah,
I feel like they're at their best, they're at their prime when they got champions with engage, with priority, and ability to link up and make beautiful things happen.
Now, Kitty, we've spoken about Gravitas a bit already today, and a little bit yesterday as well when they got that huge W on the board. De Jong, of course, playing out of his mind yesterday, but is he the only key piece of the puzzle, or are we looking somewhere else?
We've actually, last time we saw Gravitas go off at Pentanet, they had a different roster. They had Foreigner, Piglet, and Intrust. But this time, they actually had nobody back in the jungle again. Tyrant in the top lane, Thomas Shen as ADC, or we like to call him Thanos Shen, and Vixpa on the support. So they actually provide a really different champ pool coming into this game. The last time we actually saw them go against the Yasuo Diana of PGG was with a Taric counter pick. I doubt Vixpa will pick the Taric once again, because Vixpa is more known for those engaged supports like the Nautilus. So I'm excited to see what and how Gravitas will do going up against PGG tonight.
I'm interested to see how they go as well. I feel like T Shen had a relatively decent game yesterday as well, in comparison to what we saw earlier on in the split. The few times when he played initially was like, oh, I was expecting maybe a little bit more from him, considering he had a lot of playtime over the last year. But, look, it's all changed. It's all gone for the better at the moment. Seems to be doing a good job. Seems to be synergizing really well with Vixpa down there. And it's turned into a couple of W's. So what I need from you, Skimmy, is to tell me what Grav are going to do if they're going to cause another upset here against PGG.
Well, I think, Mac, above all else, is they're going to rely on the stat, which means really nothing, but I'm loving it, is the fact that the substitute junglers, they come in, they're off-rolling, 100% win rate. So nobody's done it, and he's going to say, it's 100% for a reason, Mac. We're going to keep it that way. That's what I'm, fingers crossed, believing in.
Look, now, we've provided a lot of content already on the broadcast today, but fortunately for you guys at home, Gravitas, they've sent in some content too. So here, have a look.
For the team, we're gonna win again. I'm feeling it. The only thing that I am kind of scared of is having to take another shoey.
You need to make something happen. They got the onslaught of shadows, but it gets cancelled out by an spite. The Nexus is just gonna go, and Gravitas win.
Gravitas come together as a team and they beat Peace.
Every win. Every win. How's it going? It's Copy with Gravitas. Week 3 of Super Week, ladies and gentlemen. We finally got our first win. It feels fantastic. You know what they say? What goes up must come down. Last week, we versed Kenga, and that game didn't go as we planned. They gave my poor boy Nobody the direst treatment. So, he went jungle. The team and I couldn't be happier about the win yesterday. Proved one thing. Everyone doesn't really care about the main teams winning. They all just want to watch them lose. And for that, let's give you another one. This game versus Pentanet is going to be easy. The anime training arc is over. Our boys are feeling good. Scrims are going well. We're going to grab another couple wins for our believers. To the Gravitas fans out there and to the people on the desk, you're looking fantastic tonight. Let's give you guys another win. I'm super keen for this one. But please, please, don't make me do another shoey.
What do you mean? Please don't. Skimmy, tell me what you think about shoeies.
Look, I love them. It's probably one of my favourite things about the culture down under. Look, I come from England, and it's very reserved over there, right? Everyone's just angry. They're sitting on the train all day, reading the newspapers, being gentlemen, perhaps having a little bit of tea and being very boring in that regard. I come over here, people are getting rowdy. People just get it done, Mac. I've seen you do a few in your time.
I'm just saying, look, if he has to do one, I don't see the issue with it. I'll join him. But look, for now, this goes over there until it happens again, of course. Of course, oh, you guys thought I was going to do a shoey, didn't you?
I was so excited for a second.
I'm no bloody
so
scallywag
excited.
like that. I would never do that on a live broadcast. Not that I've done one before. Anyway, look, to save me from this hole, I've got nobody to have a chat to. So you guys jump out here. I'm going to talk to the big man. So, nobody. I'm interested. All right. Well, first, how you doing? How you doing, son?
I'm good. How are you? I'm happy. Things are going well.
Look, good. That's what we love to hear. I'm great too. Thanks for asking. Now, I want to know, do you have any pre-game rituals going into these ones? And also, what did you do yesterday? Because you played pretty damn well.
No pre-game rituals. No, actually, nothing. I just try and relax, make sure I'm in the zone, and try and play my best game. But no rituals.
Oh, there you go. Well, look, getting relaxed in itself is a bit of a ritual. It's hard to do before games. Lots of people can't do it. I need to ask you, so how's the jungle life treating you? And have you had much previous in the jungle before, previous experience? Because yesterday worked out, considering it was a role swap.
I do have a little bit of experience. So I used to be, before I was a top lane, I was actually an ADC player, and before that I was actually a jungle player. So I'll play whatever I need to play, like no matter what the role, I'll play it. If we need a role field, I'll be there, like not too big of a deal. It was a bit nerve-wracking first game in jungle on stage, but should be fine.
There you go. You play top, you play versatile. It's all damn good. Now, I need you to know, I need to know from you rather, where did you get your name? What's the origin of it? Because for the record, I think you're definitely a somebody. You're not a nobody, all right?
Thank you. That's the joke. That's where it came from. The idea was to have it when it's being casted and things like that it's like nobody got a pentakill, nobody's coming, things like that. It's meant to be that sort of joke for the casters, and I think it's worked pretty well. It happens with my team, and I hear it sometimes on broadcast. I like it.
So, was there ever a name swap then? Were you someone else beforehand? Because obviously, if you picked this name for the casters to say, you knew you were going to be on broadcast at some point.
Ever since I started playing, that was my goal. So I never had to name change. This is what I've been since the very beginning. That was always the objective.
Very cool. Now, any compliments for your teammates? Because it's World Compliment Day. And look, I need you to say something nice.
I got lots of compliments. So I'll just give a team-wide one. I think we've been putting a lot of practice, and yesterday was a bit of a like spanner in the works, not expected. I haven't actually been playing jungle. I was playing top lane and scrims, so the team had to have a lot of faith in me to be able to perform, and I applaud them for actually backing me, and it means a lot to me. So
I'll applaud them as well, because it's a huge dub to get, and you need those dubs to try to get into that 5th position, try to make the playoffs. But look, I'll let you go, get ready for the game, and good luck in this game today.
Thank you so much.
Always good to have a quick chin wag with nobody. Now, let's talk about predictions. Let's talk about you guys getting your Twitch points in, getting your Dare fan vote ready, because we want to see your Dare fan vote. Last game, I think it was like, 70-something or like 60-something. It was closer than I thought. I thought it was going to be more one-sided, but maybe there was just a few more Order fans in the chat from what we saw. And I want to see how many Gravitas fans are in the chat here, because I know there's going to be a whole lot of PGG fans. We've got a lot of those in Twitch chat. We've got a lot of those around the world, after going to MSI. They got so many. But look, what are we fans of? Who are we fans of? Let's look at our predictions as well, Skimmy. Talk to me. Why have you gone for PGG? Just looking for the favorites again?
Yeah, look, sometimes Sometimes they go against the grain and look to try and go for the upset. But I've always enjoyed Pentinet's style of gameplay, right? I just love aggression. Ever since I got into League of Legends, I've had an idea of just being idly farming and waiting for objectives to spawn. So whenever I see a team like this that will flip all the coins in the early game and perhaps lose a game in the first 15 minutes, it always gets me excited because you just don't know what to expect. So big PGG fan for that reason.
That's it. Now, it's all about fighting. It's all about having a little bit of fun. It's all about the rumble in the jungle. And I want to see what nobody's going to be able to do because he's got a big job up against Balkan, Kitty.
Yep, so Balkan, in my opinion, is actually the entirety of PGG, especially in the early game. You know, he's the main engage, he's the shot caller, he's even sometimes the carry on that Jarvan. So if Balkan does well, I think PGG will naturally receive the win. But from those previous games, we have seen Balkan, I think, go 2-7 on the Diana. Not the best score, and PGG also got the loss. So if Balkan can perform, this game will be really easy for PGG, but if they can't, Gravitas can grab the win.
Let's see how Balkan goes because Champ Select is ready. It's PGG, it's Gravitas. Who is going to take this dub?
Well, let's see as we do load into this one and get a chance to see if Gravitas can sustain their win game because they've taken down Peas back-to-back. They're up against the Titans. Can they now take down Pentinet 2?
The Diana and Jarvan already being prioritized in the bans away from Balkan. You know, really scary stuff from that man. And Caitlyn is going to be banned away from the side of PGG. You know, maybe Thomas Shen, they are scared of Thomas Shen's Caitlyn, Thanos Shen. I'm going to keep calling him Thanos Shen. I like that name. Aphelios is... So Thomas Shen's Aphelios being locked in. He did really well on this champion last night. Not surprised that they pick it again. PGG can respond with an ADC, potentially the Jinx, since you do want a handshake in that AD carry spot. But we do see the Rise being hovered.
Yeah, Rise being hovered. Yuri has looked very strong on this champion. I feel like in terms of what the mid lane battle could look like for Daejong, he's obviously gone for a lot of this AP style of gameplay with a splash of assassins, whereas for PGG, you feel quite comfortable when Yuri's playing the control mages, right? The rotations with the rest of the team. They're actually going to lock in their mid jungle nice and early, unless they do want to make that a laning Lee Sin.
I love watching Koreans play Lee Sin. It's like ASMR to my eyes. They play it so perfectly mechanically. But we will see Gravitas responding with Trundle. Once again, nobody played it last night where they have a 100% win rate with nobody on the Trundle. And from the side of Gravitas, I'm assuming they can pick the mid laner now because Pentinet has shown the Rise so early in the draft. So the counter pick won't be that big of an issue for Gravitas. Maybe even an AP mid laner like last night, but the Graves is going to be picked away from Winter. We did see Winter playing Graves quite a bit in his previous games, and Graves is just a good pick in general, and PGG obviously responding with the Jinx, so that's the ADCs being out of the talk for now. I
don't think there's any surprises here though, right? Because I mean, you called the Jinx already. It seems to be obvious if Zeri and Caitlyn have been removed at least, with Aphelios denied too. That the Jinx is going to come out, but the Graves too, I mean, this is the foundation of what they got their win with against Peace last night, right? You know, the Graves was there just to mitigate losses, the Trundle was there to be an active roamer. The only thing we need now is like a Nautilus and a Sylas, and we're running it back again, but that's going to be banned away, so heads up.
Expecting both teams to actually ban out the support champ pool because you don't want these ADCs that have zero mobility to have a healing support. I'm expecting PGG to maybe pick the Tahm Kench again because we have seen the Tahm Kench do great things in the LCO. But Rogue playing the Tahm Kench last night, he actually got caught quite a lot. Maybe it's because it's his first game on the Tahm Kench, maybe a bit rusty in the LCO, but I'm expecting great things from Rogue this game.
See what he can get though for that bot lane to get the protection that this Jinx will no doubt need as a result. They're going to remove away that Vex too. Now this has been a champion that's been at the forefront of Daejong's champion pool. It's been his most played to date. Have been very successful on it as well. Gwen denied already. The question now becomes what else do they want to try and remove away from Winterer?
Interesting, so they're actually saving the support or even the top lane. Oh wait, no, sorry. This is going to be the... Wait, they are saving the counter pick. Yes, I did not get my things wrong. So they're going to ban away Yuri's Yone. We have seen that before. Maybe Dajong is going to play a squishy mage, so he doesn't want to burst the Yone in the mid lane. But we do see Winter responding with a Gnar, a second Gnar of the night.
Certainly is. I'm not sure if he's too happy about that one, judging on his reaction. Looks like he's rubbing his temples, perhaps got a bit of a headache, going insane, thinking, why has Chippy's drafted me this? Please, man, just give me anything else. But that is to be the case. So Gnar locked in, no crazy lane swaps with this Rise as the bans go out. And there's going to be another Zoe, another pocket pick of Dajong's. This will now be his most played overall. 0% win rate, which I find surprising.
It's really hard to actually execute the Zoe, especially in the mid lane, because you need to hit those skill shots on Zoe, especially with the E. We saw from Kisei, even when you miss by a smidge, it can affect the entirety of the team fight. And we actually see the Thresh being locked in for Tomashen. Really good combo for Gravitas, and maybe Pentanet can respond with a Tahm Kench or maybe even a Lulu.
Yeah, they'll certainly need something to answer back at this, right? Otherwise, there's a lot of pressure. Really working against them. I mean, we saw in their game last night, the attention was go down bot side, get that turret, take it down early, and, you know, Aphelios will give us everything we need. They need some way to stabilize,
Yes.
and that will be the Tahm Kench. It's what we wanted, and it is what we'll get.
Tahm Kench is just such a good support right now. You win against melee supports and you win against Enchanter supports. Back in the day, Enchanters used to counter Tahm Kench because he had no kill threat on the scaling Enchanters. So they could just get to late game no kill threat on them. But now that his W's been changed, he has quite a lot of CC, especially in the early game when you hit that W and you hit the Q. And I really like this Tahm Kench pick because when the Thresh gets a hook on one of your important carries, you just eat them and you run away. Or maybe even a bubble.
Yeah, I mean, it just enables so much, right, in terms of diving threats, but also I'm just thinking about the amount of mobility they have right now, Kitty. And you got a Lee Sin chasing after you, and Gnar, that's going to be very hard to escape too, but the Realm Warp of the Rise, the dive of the Tahm Kench, all the threat in the world then, no doubt, for a Jinx to get excited. So certainly a snowballing effect, very punishing when it comes to those map rotations. But Gravitas, however, have gone, it feels like a bigger emphasis on the laning phase, right, to try and find themselves in a point of power.
From PGG, they are definitely going to look for those flank angles. We have the Lee Sin, we have the Rise ulti. We already have enough front line for the Jinx with the Tahm Kench and Gnar. The Gnar can also zone them into a good, like, maybe flank corner. And we saw from last night that this Rise can provide a lot of good flank angles, especially onto the Zoe and Aphelios who want to stay in the back.
They certainly do. They want to poke out from afar, find an isolated member, and break down the group-up style that Pentanet no doubt will be hunting for with those flanking opportunities. Is there a team comp that you'd rather be playing if you were on either side here?
Well, I'm not gonna... If I was a team, I would definitely be wanting to play on PGG because they do have the more rounded team comp. You have the peel, you have the engage, you also have the teamfight CC. From Gravitas, they picked a comp that is a lot harder to pull off. You have to play off those Zoe bubbles or even maybe the Thresh hooks to secure those picks.
Certainly easier said than done though. And another game in the jungle, a role swap top laner that's done it all before. He wants to be somebody. He doesn't want us to cast the curse down by calling him nobody, but that's where we find ourselves, loading into the Rift for the third game of the night. Gravitas, can they make it 2 wins from 2 games? Or can PGG continue their reign and stabilize with Order that have got a win already tonight? Well, let's check in with the coaching staff and get their sort of thoughts and feelings on this matchup as we can welcome in from the side of Gravitas, Sipnev.
Hi, how's it going?
That's really well. Maybe not as well as you guys last night because, I mean, what an incredible win that was. So, as yourself, coaching staff, you know, the team, everybody, how are they all feeling after that?
Pretty elated because it's really good to show all the improvements we've been making behind the scenes to like actually get the win on paper.
Absolutely. I mean, does that now cause headaches? Is there any kind of superstitions, maybe luck charms as to going forward, this has to remain the roster?
Well, we did think about, you know, subbing somebody out and putting in a emergency sub just to like guarantee tonight's game, but we thought that's a bit much, you know.
Yeah, no need to knee-jerk that hard. Well, I suppose the only other question that springs to mind now is playoffs isn't too far away. Here's one win. Obviously, you're going to need to, you know, accrue as many as you can. Is that still, you know, a distant thought in the back of your mind that's constantly giving you a source of stress?
Not so much. The main thing we keep focusing on is just keep developing, because as the team improves, we'll get the wins as they come. There's no point like trying to just like rush for wins and like grab all the hard work we've done over the split.
Yeah, understandable. What a fantastic. Well, I look forward to seeing what you boys can put out on show tonight. And yeah, best of luck continuing.
Thank you very much.
We actually see both jungles starting their top side camps and piling towards this bot lane, potentially even having a 3v3 early on in the game, where I think that PGG has the upper hand because of those Jinx chompers when he hits level 3. If Thomas Shen is able to get Gravitas early on in the game, that can turn the tides for that 3v3.
Certainly could, right? The root combo that with a Trundle, and you've got a lot of CC with your support obviously available too. A lot of perceptive range. Lantern ganks have always been a favourite pastime of mine. They always look so nice, but let's wait and see how these junglers do path down, because he was making his way towards bot side. He is going to be scouted out here by Rogue.
A level 2 Tahm Kench roaming? He picks up a Shrelia! Zoe's
Nice and early.
broken.
Yeah, I mean, how broken is Zoe? My favourite is when Zoe gets a gore drink and you're like, how are we going to use that? Well, maybe here, in this situation right now.
Oh, look at Praetor!
Wave.
What is he doing?
He blocks it, nobody.
Oh my god, I thought Praetor was going
Okay.
to be a goblin.
A roaming Jinx at level 2 now.
To be fair, PGG did get their wave pushed in really, really early, so they were... Well, they had the luxury to go to that roam, even burning the Zoe flash. So we actually see Trundle giving up the bot scuttle and going top instead. Did they give up on the scuttle? Did he forget about his scuttle? They didn't actually kill the scuttle.
No, he's just left it, hasn't he? Much rather look to try and target Yuri, who was the focus last time. He's going to try and put out as much damage as he can before he gets put to sleep. And now he's swimming with the fishes because he's dead. I tell you what, man. Nobody. He's a ganker.
Gives up the scuttle crab for these mid lane ganks. These are the jungles I want. A team player.
Falcon! Says, don't try to embarrass me, man. I am the one that has the highest first blood percentage. I'm the one that gets those kills. You've just ruined my stats.
Yuri was a bit greedy with not burning his flash there, so Dajon actually got an E on the rise, so that's why Yuri died so quickly. But both mid laners, well, actually, PGG Yuri had to burn the TP just in case he missed out on some CS, but he provides that tempo for this drag as well.
He does, back to lane, and it doesn't get much easier in the bot lane, right? The fact that they were able to shove that one in nice and early for PGG, go for a roam, come back down, and now just looking for a bit of a slow push, running away Gravitas' bot lane. Lee Sin's not here. There's no protection, and that is the invitation that they so desperately need. There is the Lantern Gate, the Flay, and Rogue, who went hunting, tried to staunch them out with such a big wave, goes, I've been played.
I don't actually know where Rogue used his flash. It's on cooldown at the moment. But when your jungle is on his cruds and your wave is slow pushing with such a big wave, might I add, it's really dangerous for this flashless Tahm Kench, and that's exactly what happened because the jungle of Gravitas decided to gank without the Lee Sin hovering.
Punished accordingly, as you say. 77% of you reckon this is going to be PGG favoured, perhaps a little bit lower than it would have been after yesterday. Believers in chat from the side of Gravitas Glory hoping for another upset here as Balkan is back on the map. Now, what can he do? As mid lane has been rather exciting. Yuri and Dajon definitely trading aggressively, so much so that the exhaust comes out. He gets put to sleep! Resonating Strike, no, across the wall he flashes. Forget about my realm warp, it's too slow, kitty. I'm going to hit a second bit of mobility and flash to cash, confirm. And nobody has just been absolutely outplayed. Landed into a 2-minute Abyssal Dive, Rogue finds revenge. And Vixbit is very lucky to walk away from that.
Korean Lee Sins. What are you feeding them? I need to know.
Confidence.
Confidence? Just
Imagine if that was a meal. Just have confidence for breakfast.
gifted mechanics. Really nice play from Balkan, committing to the play with that flash Q, even connecting. But because you are a Korean Lee Sin, those Qs always hit and your mind's telling you yes, and you go for it.
I thought you were about to break into song there. We're getting very close to karaoke night, no longer LCO. But let's see what Dejan can do. He's stolen away a flash, so was posturing aggressively, wondering, do I go top side and hunt out some action? Nope, back to mid lane I go. Yuri's returned, who has, might I add, cycled through the spell book, and he's picked himself up a cleanse. That could be huge now for this next trade.
Balkan is actually 6-4 this dive. He can potentially go for a insect on the carry of Gravitas.
Certainly could. Does he decide to commit for it though? Because he can just zone them, as you see here. Yep, give Praetor some plate golds. Question is, do they stay much longer? What is the response from Gravitas here? Do they come down bot side down to protect him? Because they've just lost 2 plates for 3.
As Tishan has the Gravitum, I would expect nobody to look for a 3v3 here because you can secure the roots on those champions that you want to go for. But we're going to see a 3-man base coming out of PG because they have grabbed 2 plates. Something really important is players, you have to reset with the amount of gold you've actually received. You don't want to have any more fights because you do have all that gold in your pockets and no real gold advantage until you base.
Look at this though, Kitty. This is just Winter saying, why are you counter jungling? Why are you invading? Yes, bot lane, or sorry, rather top lane is held in suspension. But trying to steal our red buff, maybe that's a step too far. He's been put to sleep and has been forced to burn the flash to get the hell out of dodge.
Well, Tyron didn't get the red buff, but he did spot the Tahm Kench already at the Herald. So maybe Dajon can avoid his any future ganks from this Tahm Kench W. But we actually see nobody resetting while Balkan goes for this Herald, and the 2 ADCs are once again alone. But we do see the Thresh and Trundle playing towards this Jinx. Really dangerous, Praetor.
Very dangerous against the flash. There was no other option, really. I mean, he was going to be surrounded by that, of a Trundle and a Thresh, and yeah, had to do that one. So, not going to be ultimately punished. PGG will still come out ahead here. They're going to pick up themselves a Herald top side.
Insta regret button.
Imagine Hex Flash and AD carries. What a time to be alive that would be.
You can't even cast spells, can you? You're just kind of
No.
immobilized for how many seconds?
It'd be an awful decision. I don't want to ever see it happen, unless obviously big reworks happen, but yeah, that would be a very weird time. Much like this, perhaps. The kick goes out. Not back into the team, but it doesn't matter because it guarantees that Yuri is lined up, primed up, and ready to kill.
Daojong is struggling once again on this Zoe. He's getting camped if from this Tahm Kench and this Lee Sin, he's just getting constantly camped. But what you said, Skimmy, about Hex Flash, I'm actually disappointed in how less we've seen from supports taking the Hex Flash, especially when you play all these engaged supports. Hex Flash is such a good summoner. Is it a summoner? It's a good rune. And once you burn the flash, especially, oh, we might stop that for a second because they're going to do a dive.
They certainly are, and it's going to be all the aggro going to Yuri so far, soaking up the turret down to 50%, but not as much pain and punishment as Tyron is receiving. Winter, right as he hits the go button, he's going to get a 3-for-1 collapse and come out ahead.
We mentioned this earlier, Yuri is actually really good at playing with his jungle, so we're going to see these constant at least 3-man dives top, while Praetor just tries to CS on the Jinx.
Can they stop these backs though? Oh, so close, so close.
No.
I respect it. Thumbs up. Yeah, he knows just how close that was.
Dragon is spawning in 30 seconds. Winter actually used TP with the Hull Breaker for top.
Oh, now Balkan has not been spotted. He's buying his time. In comes Yuri. Yuri has no realm ward, but he has a flash. Balkan is going to open up with a kick. Yes, he is. The wall goes down just for vision. The flay hits nothing. In goes Balkan. Sonic Wave 1 and 2 is there as well. Moonlight Vigil goes across. And that's just easy 2 kills.
Balkan and Yuri is constantly first to these map plays. Nobody and Dajong is just maybe a 5 seconds too late, where Thomas Shen actually didn't burn his flash because he already knew the play was over. So respect to that, but Gravitas not being as proactive as PGG.
It's Lee Sin possessed. I mean, Giddy, it's 5-0-2 already at the 12-minute mark here, and that Herald found a second charge. They found the first turret, they've done damage into another. 1.5, that's called value, and well, I mean, in terms of value for gold, they are up by a significant margin.
First blood tower, well, first tower going down once again, being taken by PGG, and we actually see Balkan getting bubbled.
Dejan hits the bubble, doesn't get juked by that one. Instant devour comes out here from Rogue just to guarantee we're getting this Drake, then we're getting out. They are successful in that, unless somebody has anything to say! Oh no!
Oh my
Gone
god.
golden at the absolute clutch moment. Has Balkan been rooted as a result?
The Jinx?
His bounty's been claimed! The shutdown's been observed and taken by nobody, but he's going to die in the process of it. Yuri answers back, so does Pradev. PGG just wanted to disengage away, but Dejan was having none of it. And now they are angered, and they're going to run multiple members down.
Zoe's such a skill check champion, you have to hit those Qs, you have to hit those Es. When Dajong went in with the ulti, he actually missed the Q, so he traded it for nothing. He was 1 HP with the stopwatch. So we're going to look at it again. Good stun coming out of Dajong, but the Flash Devourer, this is why we saved Tahm Kench for the last pick in draft. And if I was PGG, I would just run away here because you have already secured the Dragon. But Dajong overcommitting just a bit too much, and really good play from the Thresh, stopping the Lee Sin W. And just Prater cleaning the rest of the kills. And we see Winterer actually flanking from the back with his wall breaker.
Yeah, he grouped up, right? Whereas Tyron didn't. Tyron didn't actually have TP available to him, so decided, well, I've got a big wave shoving in topside. I'll see if I can try and get anything, any kind of silver lining on that occasion. But ultimately, yeah, PGG coming out with a sizable lead from that play. That's going to make the gold lead spike that much harder. If you thought it was bad before, well, it's now about to be 7k gold at the 14-minute mark. The plates go down just as the second turret comes crumbling down also.
Jinx picking up the Kraken Slayer with her thumbs up. This is going to be a really easy fight for the side of PG if no one gets hooked or picked prior. So I don't know how Gravitas is going to win these 5v5s unless this cleanse gets burnt and they manage to get a hook or a sleep on this Jinx. And you still have to remember Tahm Kench ult.
Oh, look at that. They threw everything, including the kitchen sink at him. And they still can't get it. One Devour, one single ability cancelled out that entire passage of play for Gravitas. This is a disaster. They've lost two. Another Sleepy Trouble Bubble comes out. The Moonlight Digital to try and couple onto that one. But look how low damage it is from the Aphelios. He has no items complete, Kitty. He does nothing at this stage. Rogue jumps in. Maybe attack the swimming pool. He got a little bit too excited there for a second. But can Dejan play cleanup at the tail end of this team fight? He can take out one.
That was a 4v5.
Not enough though, yeah, it's a 4v5. They'll take two, but I mean, Winter's just a split pusher machine.
I mean, technically it's a 4v4. I don't know if people saw. Maybe we'll get a replay, but Vixpa actually took his hook that was connected to the, I believe, Ryze, and Ryze got eaten by the Tahm Kench. He decided to take the second part of his Q, and he kind of just flew in and gave the Jinx the reset for free. So this was already a losing fight for Gravitas, but they committed just a bit too much, and they played a bit too forward compared to their minion wave. So they are gonna swap, I believe, 1 kill for 3. Not the worst, but this Aphelios is not going to come online anytime soon compared to the Jinx.
Yeah, he was down about 2,000 gold going into that team fight. We saw the difference between the two AD carries. The Kraken Slayer, no doubt, putting in the work. Obviously does help when you get donated a fresh to get excited at the very beginning, but yeah, the fact that you are winning that fight in a 4v5 situation eventually, and then also getting Hull Breaker Valley for another turret down bot side, it feels bad. Now,
Ooh, really good
that's
hook.
a great cancel. Really great cancel on the dive. Yep, Rogue's being punished for this one. Does that mean they can now look to try and contest this Herald? That is the question. It's been picked up, but he can't put it in his back pocket.
I think Balkan's gonna go for it.
He wants it, he wants it. He's gonna die for it. No way. Surely no way. He's hit the kick. Somebody just walk on top of it. Somebody! Anybody!
Yuri?
No one. No one.
Guys?
Yuri now, in a 1v3 situation, says,
Come
do I
on,
have enough
Pradev.
quarter reduction to make this play happen? Pradev says, well...
Wait, does
I
he
won't
not
get
see
that.
Zoe?
But I'll get the kills instead. Please walk into the base.
Oh
Yep,
my
there it is.
God.
A flash goes
He's
out. It's
dead
becoming a bit of a
now.
clown fiesta. What is going on here?
Zoe's gonna bubble. Oh no!
Oh no.
Praetor's blind.
I love the observers just zooming in saying, we don't even know what's going on, so it's hopeless.
It's okay, observers. I don't know what the hell's going on either. That fight was so messy. No one picked up Rift Herald. Yuri was just kind of peepo staring at everyone. He didn't actually kill anyone. Praetor's got a nice W on, I believe it was maybe nobody, but he was blind and didn't see the Zoe, where the Zoe flashed over and landed a bubble.
Ruby could be in trouble here. Everfrost goes out. Tyrant says, I'm here to back you up, but wait a minute. No, I'm not. I'm backing away from this one, that's for sure. And nobody gets run down all the way from the river into their side of the map. Yuri now being a bit of a split-pushing menace himself. His link-up with this Gnar. Yeah, laning phase, or side laning in general, just isn't a fun place to be right now.
Look how much frontline PG has for this Jinx. Even the Rise counts, right? Because you have that Winter built on the mid laner PG as well.
Yeah. Very strong. Very, very strong. Also another Trinity Force built here by Anabi. Saw it from Biopamper last night, so deviating away from what was the norm for such a long time of this Divine Sundra. Really saying that Winter wants to be a menace, wants to run members down, and another Devour. Another reason to take this support.
Saving that cleanse for the future, but really good ultis from Rogue so far. Definitely an upgrade from last night.
At this point in the game though, because PGG have stacked up 3 Drakes back to back. Cloud Soul, that's up in 4 minutes. But it's very, very hard for Gravitas to make a play. They're bleeding in the side lanes when they have grouped up to try and commit to a fight that breaks out from a Zoe bubble. They've been punished one too many times.
They're actually playing towards the Hull Breaker Gnar. Really interesting from PGG.
Nowhere else to split push. Bot lane's already been done. That's another one taken down. 5 turrets to 0.
Well, Baron is coming up in 40 seconds, and the Jinx flash will be online as well, following with Yuri's flash. Once Winter gets this Mega Gnar, this fight will be extremely hard for Gravitas to actually even walk in on because of their lack of vision on this Baron.
Yeah, very tough for them to even walk into that one, right? Yes, they've got the poke, but we've seen what it means. With PGG standing strong, putting members in the firing line to block skill shots and to protect if there is a commit from the side of Gravitas. I wouldn't be surprised if PGG were to try and start up the Baron. But also wouldn't be surprised if they continue at this pace of the game, knowing that Gravitas are in a spot above it. They can't really contest. They're hoping for a miracle play, perhaps a pick where there is no Tahm Kench involved.
We do see a stopwatch in hand for Balkan, prepping for this Baron. Wow!
Having a bubble. Ooh, the damage afterwards. Rogue was holding his nerve, wasn't he? He held that Devour for such a long time. He was hoping for an overextension from Gravitas. But look at the positioning, Kitty, on the map. Winter is not there, Yuri's not there. They're split pushing. They've grouped up 5 members of Gravitas, and they're still winning.
Yeah, I was expecting Rogue to just eat the Jinx again because the bubble landed. But because he didn't do it instantly, the bubble resulted in a huge chunk from the Zoe as well, with some orders from the Aphelios. So Jinx actually had to base, and I thought they were going to give mid-prio because the Jinx base, but Gravitas still hasn't actually got that mid-push.
Well, here we go. If anything, what they bought in the mid lane was time, and that time was crucial to show up those side lanes and to now play towards this Baron, which is going down at a very fast rate. It's already down to 4,000 health. Gravitas have to find some way into this one. A TP's going to come in, but is that too little, too late? Collateral damage is a chance. still in that one, but it's always going to be a tough ask for Tyrant to find that. Winter leaps into action and hopes to try and isolate out this Graves, but a fight still continues to break out around this blue buff. And it is nobody up against the 2 Korean imports and goes all the way down. Winter on the side of your screen takes that kill too. Now becomes a 5v3. Thomas Shen, instant exhaust with a lantern over the wall, which is beautiful actually. Vixper pretty clean with it. But an Abyssal dive and a kick to the head to give him a headache. And a headache ultimately in this game, as we've yet to find an ace, but we're getting close to it.
That was so close from Thomas Shen. Maybe the burn of the heal or maybe even the ignite on the Jinx could have shut her down. But the flanks from this Lee Sin and the Rise, which is what we were talking about before we actually got into this game, was the game-winning play from PGG. They already got onto the backline of Gravitas, which was Dajong. But Falcon's actually going to get a bit greedy here.
He's dead here, yeah. He's been really punished. Isolated from the rest of his team. Great punishment there from Dajong. I mean, look, Zoe's been playing really well. No doubt about it, right? These bubbles have consistently been landing. It's just the comp of PGG has been there to punish. But if there was any opportunity, that was it, right? An isolated member.
Gravitas actually wasted all their spells on Rogue, where he actually got out by flashing and he didn't end up dying. While all of PGG, their focus was definitely on the Zoe for that fight. Tyrant already zoned out by the Gnar from very early in the fight. And we actually see the bubble landing once again on the Jinx, burning the cleanse. And look at the 3 people going onto this support of PGG. Like, they're chasing them further into their side of the map while Rogue and Balkan and Yuri actually clean things up, but Thomas Shen has the green white, really clean lantern flash from Vixpa. I think maybe if he used the ignite, it would have been a bit better. Maybe even the heal, get out 1 more extra auto. But not much you can do when you already have a disadvantage at a 4v5 in that fight.
Yeah, I think in his mind, right, it was very clear. I'm just getting out. Get me out of the situation. I don't like it. I want to try and survive. I want to try and cut our losses. And sort of very low there. And Ignite might have just been the difference. But that's here or there. Hindsight is one of those beautiful things. As PGG are back in the base and using the last stretch of this Baron buff to finally take down an inhibitor.
TP coming out of Winter, actually. This is going to be a 4v5. If Gravitas want to fight, this will be their angle.
They have to do it now, don't they? They absolutely have to go in and try and force it, but they can't find the angle they're after. They've got a little bit of vision, but it's not enough for them to fully commit, and Winter is just going to TP in their face and go for a bit of split pushing.
Level 16 on this Gnar, while the ADC of Gravitas is only level 12. This is going to be really hard for the Axilis who has went with the LDR to actually even tickle this Gnar.
Yeah, he certainly is a tank, but also a carry. Deadman's Blade is a second item. He's got a whole host of damage, but more importantly, mobility. Much like Yuri, who hits the flash, hits the target, and says you're gone, you're dead, good night. Finally, they've taken out the Zoe. And it is to be prayed if they get the double kill to find that point of contention. No more cleanses, no more worries, and no more chances for Gravitas to have fun with this game. They found 4, and finally at 25 minutes, they'll get their first ace of the game. They're inside the base. They're swapping the aggro. They're waiting, most importantly, though, for a minion wave to come in before they can put a bow on things.
Very clean game coming out of PG. Other than that fight at Herald, you know, let's erase that from our memory, especially Kratos being blind. But once again, clean win from the boys. And like I said, once Balkan pops off in that early game, no matter what champion, Jarvan, Lee Sin, Diana, it always results in a clean and fast victory for PGG.
It certainly does. An early game strength like that, when it works in your favor, you just know the writing is on the wall. This is going to be a dub. We're feeling good. We're feeling comfortable. This is our domain. This is where we play from best. And ultimately, that is going to be what they find themselves in with this game here. Maybe a few moments that we can look at and laugh at and say, okay, they get a little bit more seriously. That's not really what we want to see, but it's erased. It's gone. It's out of my memory. And what is in my memory, Mac, is the fact that PGG won that game in such a good fashion.
Yeah, a good fashion and a pretty quick fashion too. I think it was like 21 minutes or so towards the end. There wasn't a whole lot going on. I can actually check right now. Let me pull this one right up. 25 minutes and 48 seconds, exactly. Now, I'm loving this. I'm loving these stats. Now, look, that was a great game. Winterer, absolutely loving what he was bringing into the mix there as well, although it was Volkan, the key piece of the puzzle, the man, aggression. It's pretty much spelt in his name, and it's spelt in his bloody game as well. Look at this. The man is just hunting for kills, hunting for blood, hunting for plates. Anything he wanted, he was pretty much taking this game, except for De Jong on this play. I thought that there was a chance that maybe Grab could have turned this one around, but it was Pentanet. Happy as Larry. They know they had it was a 5k gold lead at this point. Might have been a little bit less, but that being said, look at the chase down. Look, Gravitas, they were happy with the execution. They were pumped with De Jong's mechanics, and we're like, look, oh, we've won this fight. Committed. And Pentanet was like, hey, we're still bigger, we're still better, we're still stronger, and just crushed them. So, bit of an uphill battle for Gravitas there, and an easy downhill stroll for Pentanet from about that, I'd say 12 or 13 minute mark, right, Skimmy?
It was. I mean, I think that fight that you're highlighting right there where Dejan goes in, I mean, in isolation, it's fantastic, right? They removed the Balkan bounty to get a lot of gold on their side, but ultimately he baits the rest of his team in for a fight that they probably weren't hunting for. I mean, PGG, it looked quite clear that they wanted a dragon, they wanted to get out, but there was a few moments. And I feel like there's also going to be a sense of frustration because they had so much CC. They couldn't answer in the side lanes, so their only option was to group up, but we saw how many times they did group up. And yeah, Summoner Cleanse, a Tamken Jolt, all of those options just meant that your comp just doesn't exist.
Now, Kitty, talk to me. Anything interesting here you want to highlight? It looks like everyone was really pulling the weight in terms of the damage, and Gravitas were trying to keep up, but it seems like PGG was that little bit better, right?
Mac, this is the second Rise game we've seen tonight. Both Rises doing a butt ton of damage. But can Riot fix Rise? Why can he go tank and do 18k, which is the most damage in the game? Keep nerfing Rise. This champion just needs to be nerfed.
Very good. Now, I need to bring you guys back out of this graphic because we have the Dare MVP to have a quick chat about. And I think no one is going to be surprised. Kitty, you mentioned Rise there, and you did it for a reason, right? Because Yuri is that Dare MVP, just absolutely popping off in the mid lane for PGG. He's had a couple of sort of slow weeks, I'd say. Oh, that was real quick.
You were caught in your moment, weren't you?
I was just leaning in. I was getting pumped, and look, here we're back. All right, it's all right. You guys didn't want to see the top of my forehead. You wanted to see Yuri and his stats. 84% kill participation, 16 assists. This man was rotating everywhere and looking for the action. You know, Volkan may have been the initiator, may have been the enabler, but Yuri was there with the damage to follow up, right, Skimmy?
He was, yeah, and there was a very aggressive trading pattern in the mid lane. It really could have gone either way. It felt like nobody had his number to start things off with, but the Zombie never got to explode into the same levels of damage that this Rise could contribute, and I think the biggest talking point had to be the fact that their side laning became just that much better. Once again, you're right, you know, the Rise and the Nard doing their thing. You couldn't beat them 1v1. He had a big contribution to make in terms of his mobility, and ultimately the collapse from Pentanet was just too much to handle.
Now, Kitty, anything you want to highlight here? Of course, there's a lot of stats. The man did 28% of the damage, and look, 84% KP. That's pretty damn good for a mid laner, right?
84% KP for a mid laner is extremely high, but I have mentioned this to Skimmy, and Skimmy told me that Yuri is actually a player who really likes playing out of lane. He's a mid laner that likes roaming, that likes contributing and going for those skirmishes with Balkan. So that's why, and explains why his KP is so high.
Yeah, he's just... I feel like this team, I don't know. Were they one of the teams that had the highest kill participation overall? They were, okay. And there's a reason for that, because they love a fight. They love to go and help the boys out, and they love to get involved. That's what it's all about. Now, I want to get involved with a couple of individuals, and it's you two. All right, talk to me. So, I'm going to have a chat with Winter in just a moment. And do you have any questions for the man? Because I've got a few written down, but I know, Skimmy, you don't get to talk to the players. You're unlucky like that, right?
I know, I get to speak to the coaches, so they only, I suppose, get to, you know, pass on their message.
Yep,
look, if I'm anything, I'm asking Winter, when are we playing Azir top lane again, mate? Because, you know, that was your go-to at the start of last split, and we're saying, okay, this is not top lane meta.
Okay, when is... Did you just want me to ask him when?
Yeah, when's Azir top lane coming back out?
No, but just when.
Oh, you could just ask him when and just leave him there.
I don't know how that would go down. I honestly have no idea how that one will go down. So I'll ask him, when's Azir top lane coming back? Kitty, any questions? Of course, I know it's your day off, and everything, but I know you've just got a lot of questions. Anything?
Can you ask why Winter was making a face after the Gnar got locked in for the champ select?
That's a
good question.
Yep, awesome. All right, well, hopefully, I don't think the interview's ready yet, but oh, it is ready. I just heard it is ready. I was stalling and getting cool questions. I wasn't even going to use your questions, but now I kind of have to, don't I? Winterer, I don't know. Have you heard this whole conversation we've had? Tell me, were you listening to those questions?
Yeah, a little bit, but don't worry about it.
Look, I'll repeat them for you anyway, quickly. So, Skimmy would like to know when Azir top lane? When are we going to see that again?
I really wanted to pull it out today, but then my coach didn't want me to ego the players, so I couldn't pull it out, unfortunately. But next time, hopefully, I have a stronger ego than my coach, and just do it.
Oh. Okay, well, maybe you could take a page from Kevy's book and just lock it in, change up the draft, and force everyone to play around you, because it seemed to work for Order earlier. Although, look, you listen to your coach, you got that dub today anyway. And Kitty wants to know, you pulled a face when Gnar got locked in draft. What's the reasoning behind that?
Oh, when we picked Gnar,
like
I just say, Gnar.
Oh, right, okay. Yeah, awesome. Sorry, that was actually funny. I was just being a silly bug. I didn't mean to offend you. So now I've got the hard questions out of the way. Do you have any questions for me?
Why do you look so handsome, man? I want to know the tip.
It's a lot of protein, a lot of BCAAs, a lot of the gym. Go to the gym as much as you can, and moisturize. I don't know. Use products that make you feel younger. Yeah, you taking notes, or are you just smart enough to? I'm pouring my soul out to you.
I'll let him memorize everything, buddy.
Ah, beautiful.
I got the brain,
That's what I
buddy.
love to hear.
All right.
I don't have one of those. No.
Now,
Look, I've got 2 more questions for you. First off, how many hours a week do you practice LoL?
About maybe 7 hours per day.
A day? That's not bad. Pretty good numbers.
Yeah.
Now, how many hours a week do you practice your post-game celebrations?
Nowadays, I lost a bit of confidence doing that, so I haven't been practicing much. But round 3, I'll bring back a lot. My idea's coming out soon.
Okay. All right, just make sure you've locked in that playoff spot, and then the fun starts to come out, right?
Exactly, buddy.
Exactly. Now, thank you, Winter. Good to chat with you, and good luck tomorrow in your final game of the week.
Retrospection.
He got me good. I deserve that one.
He got you back because you're like when, and then all the other banter. He's just like, I've got something up my sleeve ready for you back.
Yeah. I did him dirty with that laugh. I felt so bad. I was like, nah, I didn't. That was pretty fun. That was a good interview. Winter is a goat. Look at him. He's so much fun. Now, look, from the fans, you guys at home, you've been drawing up a storm. I can't draw, so I've got you guys to do it for me. So let's have a look at what champs you've drawn, who's doing the drawing, and that's beautiful, almost as good as mine. Brent, Chimchar28 on the Twitter sphere. I think it's a Zoe. Kitty, am I right? You're the champ person here.
It is definitely a Zoe, our second Zoe for tonight for the drawing. Not a contest, but our drawing presentation.
Yeah.
But we actually see a nice gradient from the blue to the pink to the purple. I really like that. You have a little oval sitting on her shoulder, which I assume is her scarf. I don't know what the ball is, though. What is the ball? Her pants? Why couldn't it be like a square or something?
It's her belt.
It's a belt.
Yeah, it's a
okay,
belt.
fair enough. Some 3D retrospection going on here as well.
Also, Kitty, I hate to break it to you. I think we need to do a color test with you because that's yellow at the start of her hair.
Wait, what did I say?
You said blue.
Oh no,
I
okay.
was just checking. Are you okay? Anyway, we got some more champs to have a look at, so I'm going to test your eyes again. Now, Kitty, tell me what color that is.
That is definitely green, Mac. All jokes aside, what's with the rule on the side? I believe it's...
I was worried. I thought you weren't joking.
Wait, are we doing some voice acting? Is that a sharp joke? Is that how it goes? Something like along those lines, right? How tall is he? 9 centimeters.
Also, quick shout out to Cinderella. You know, he's never on the show. I don't know why. But he makes us sound good. I don't know if you wanted to know that. He's also a good drawer. But that's also... So, Kitty, you know how you're saying you got to use the fill tool in Paint?
Oh, yeah.
See how there's the little white dots everywhere? That's what happens. That's why people just decide to color in instead, you know?
I mean, you know, we do see a little bit of white dots, but that's okay. It's better than just scribbling in and only covering, I believe, 50% of the surface. We do have a ruler on the side showing that Veigar is, in reality, 3 inches long.
Okay.
Well, tall. Oh my god.
Are you laughing at things that are 3 inches long? That is completely uncalled for. Now, we've got 3 more champs to have a quick look at as well. So, what do we got here? Peronius with another...
Peronius.
I'm going to the next one. Peronius, I'm sorry. We're going to champ number 4. I hope it's ready because that looks like a nightmare. Sorry, brother. But look, 370 Puma. All right, this is a guy with a big green tongue. Skimmy.
Yeah, it's Urgot.
Urgot, okay.
Yeah, this is good. This is really, really good. I like the crab legs. Look, he's got some definition, right? He's got the idea. I'm just trying to figure out, like, I like the handgun.
Yeah.
It just looks like he's vomiting
his
out
arm,
green. He's just like, hold up.
Yeah, it's nuts. I'm loving... Does he have 4... I don't know. We can get a leg count later because we've got one more champ to get through. Thank you, Puma, for that submission, but also cheers to Spiticus because he's got a Garen hit it in the bushes. Mate, your sword's poking out. You got to put that away.
This is meta. This is so
Look
meta,
at
right?
that
This is like...
glass detail.
It's like one of those like inside jokes, right? Been around for ages, right? There's always a Garen waiting in a bush.
Like, it's... Is he waiting to gank? Is this the joke?
Yes. I think I see it in every like mean bit of content from League. It's always a Garen waiting in a bush just to one-shot you.
Well, I can't wait. I want to see... You know when Cho'Gath gets like mega, like huge? He just gets too big for the screen. Does he still fit in a bush when he's that big? Or is his like body too big? Is his size too bloody plus 1,000 to fit in the bush? Do we not know?
Can he
I don't think I've ever seen a game go that big.
I think Rusty's the only Cho player we had on the desk here. So, unfortunately, I guess we'll have to check with him tomorrow. But for now, we've got to get to one more game. Ladies and gents, don't go too far. Game number 4 is coming up just after this. And, of course, it's what you've been waiting for. Bit of peace, bit of Kanga coming up after the break.
Instant Devour comes out here from Rogue just to guarantee we're getting this Drake, then we're getting out. They are successful in that unless this over here has anything to say. Oh no, Tom Golden at the absolute clutch moment has Balcom been rooted as a result. His bounty's been claimed. The shutdown's been observed and taken by nobody, but he's going to die in the process of it. Yuri answers back, so does Prater. PGG just wanted to disengage away, but Dacian was having none of it. And now they are angered.